Hello, my love, and welcome back to Happy Healthy Homes. This episode is the first episode of a series of episodes I'm going to bring to you where I outline chapters of my book, Creating Healing Spaces for Children. So today's episode is one that sits very close to my heart. We are talking about something every mom, every parent senses deep inside, even if we don't always have the words for it. How our children's space shapes their behavior, their emotions, and even the way their little brains develop. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through why the environment acts as a co-parent, the science that explains behaviors and sensory input, how clutter, colors, and lighting affect the nervous system, and one simple thing you can do today to support your children immediately. So, before we start, just go and subscribe to my podcast. This way, you support me and you know when the next podcast is available. Alrighty, I want to start this podcast with a little personal journey. Before my baby was born, I studied architecture, and interesting enough, I didn't learn all the things I bring here in architecture school. I think it's so much to learn during architecture school that so many things for them to tackle that these topics was not even mentioned, like how natural environments, biophilia, and things like that influence us as humans so much. And I spent years designing spaces for children. I did a lot of childcare projects, schools, and those projects were really, really special for me. And throughout the time I was designing these projects, I was always researching and going deeper and trying to learn more and questioning things like if the code asks you to do something, wow, what's behind this? I want to learn more. And in 2021, I was blessed with the opportunity to design school spaces for neurodivergent children and children that live with disability. This project did change the way I see so many things because for these projects, I was able to use what I was studying for so many years regarding biophilia. But then I discovered so much more in that this project shaped me in ways I still carry today. In those education buildings, nothing was random. Every color, texture, acoustic panel, light source, circulation path, everything we did had a meaning, had a purpose. We were not just decorating. We're not just choosing colors because they're beautiful. We're doing it to help the children to calm down, to behave, to learn with ease. And was right there that I started seeing the results immediately. And interesting enough is when we came to visit to do the workshops before the buildings were built, I saw lots of children overwhelmed, anxious, distressed when their space was just overloaded with senses. And we were already doing all this background research, and I was working with an amazing architect that had so much experience as well. And those experiences taught me that design is not just about what it look like. Design go much deeper than the look. And that's what most people don't get. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about it. It's about what supports a human being to feel grounded, safe, and held. Yes, design has so much power. It can help the children to feel calm, relaxed, and even behave better. That's my journey with architecture. I studied for so many years to get to the point where I understood what nature already tells us, what nature already does to us. When we nature, we relax, we calm, we feel grounded. So we just need to bring some of those elements inside our spaces to help our nervous system. When I felt pregnant with Viola, I knew her room wouldn't be afterthought. I designed it with the same intentions I used in my projects. I did not have millions because some of those projects cost millions and millions of dollars. I had a really tight budget to do her room. However, I was able to achieve incredible things with the budget I had. So I used soft tones, controlled lighting, natural materials, minimal stimulation, and needle corners that support her independence. I actually did set up little corners throughout the whole house, and it's working really well. I also pay a lot of attention on her toys, which toys I give her. Funny enough, so far it's been very successful. She's a 7 months baby that can sit and enjoy her toy for a while. I usually use open play toys, wood textures. If she has anything for teething, I give preference for natural fabrics, and I never give her more than two toys at once. Watching how she responds to these spaces, how she settles, how she plays, how she breathes different, reinforce everything I learned. But throughout my experience, interesting enough is, of course, when you build a building, the thing you want most is a feedback. So after you built it, you want to come back and ask, did it work? How's the space doing? What are the lessons learned? And you come and talk to the teachers. And yes, everything we applied into these buildings worked. The children were calmer, more engaged, was easier to the teachers to do their job. And that's what you want as a designer, isn't it? You just want the pleasure of other people being able to do their job with ease. And that's exactly what I want for you as well. Like, I just want you to enjoy your home, your children, and have more time to do fun things instead of spending all this time doing things that are stressful, difficult. Their behavior is often just their nervous system trying to speak. Of course, it's not that simple. They have phases, and some days you don't know what to do. You don't know how to work it out. I'll tell you something I did the other day. I was having a really difficult day with my little one. She was very agitated. She usually not like that. As I said, she's usually very calm, and we have spaces set up throughout the house that really support her and helps me with my activities as well. But that day was no day, and I couldn't do anything. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't play. So after trying everything inside the house, I said, "Do you know what? I'm going to put her on the carrier and I'm going to go outside with her." Thankfully, we live in a house that has a garden. Was it? We got outside, we both got fresh air, deep breaths, and after 10 minutes, she was sleeping. So, what that means is that our house extend outside. It's important to have that connection. And the sad thing is nowadays that's becoming more difficult. But a balcony, a little garden, or if you have a park close to home, sometimes you just need to get out and take them into Mother Nature and let her do her job as well. Alrighty, what does science say? Children experience home emotionally, not logically. Have you heard the term they are emotional beings? Yes, they're discovering everything. So their senses are very developed. And that's how we support them. Before they understand the words, their body is already reading the environment, like the smells, the touch, the sounds. So we need to think about all of that. And while their body is reading everything, it's already asking questions. Is this safe? Is this overwhelmed? Is this space calm or chaotic? Its research supports this deeply. Harvard Center on the developing child explains that children's environment literally shape their brain. Their sensory world routines, light, color, and the level of order or chaos around them influence their stress response and their ability to regulate. Think about that for a moment. Their brain architecture is being shaped by what surrounds them every single day. There is also a fascinating study from the University of the Southern California showing that clutter increase cortisol levels, especially in women. So now imagine a developing child, they're discovering so much, they're learning so much with a far more sensitive nervous system than ours, experiences the same visual noise. Like, for example, if the space is cluttered, it's too much going on, it's toys everywhere. If you, as a mom, is feeling overwhelmed, your little one is also feeling extremely overwhelmed. But he doesn't know how to say they are going to start behaving in a way that's impossible. So, for example, if they get a box full of toys and they have so much, and you're like, oh, that's amazing. They have so many toys, but they don't know how to choose. They feel overwhelmed because they don't know what to play with. So sometimes less is more for them to be able to cope with their space. In the first chapter of my book, I talk about something that surprised many parents. The environment is like a co-parent. The environment your children is raised teach them safety, it teach them calm, it teaches independence, teach emotional regulation, and teach transitions. So for those who doesn't know, I am in Australia and I'm having to start looking into childcare for my little one for next year. And I've been actually really happy with the childcares I've been visiting. We went to one last weekend. The building itself of a childcare, they are usually quite boring. Building a childcare, it's extremely challenging. There is a lot of regulations for safety in a childcare building. Visibility, making sure there is enough space for the children. From someone that designed a childcare for so many years, I know exactly how difficult it is. So usually on the building itself, you don't put much. You leave everything as clean as possible. And then what make the space is actually the children work and the furniture. And I've been going to these places paying a lot of attention, having all this knowledge behind and understanding how the space affects the children. And actually, I've been quite happy. Lots of childcares basing their furniture on the Montessori way of learning. They didn't have many toys. They had shelves with some toys for the children to choose. A lot of open play toys. The director of this childcare went. She was actually explaining that she took the TVs of these classrooms because she thought the TV was always stimulating the children. And I was extremely happy. And what I loved about it is they had stones, natural pieces, and they had some things hanging from the ceiling that was like actually made with like trees, arms, and natural fabrics. They were hanging. So I felt like, oh, that's good. It's actually really calming for the children. So the question is, why we overstimulate them so much at home then? We're seeing that childcare is already taking that route. And sometimes at home, we overstimulate our children. We just want everything at once. And it's not like that. Sometimes we come from a childhood with difficult and we want to give everything we can to our children. But remember, it's not about materiality. It's not about giving them stuff. It's also about presence and being there and going for a walk in nature and creating little rituals. So it's really important for their bedroom to whisper, safe, my love. And then this way they'll be able to fall asleep quicker. A curated play space supports imagination instead of overwhelm. I followed a couple on Instagram and they actually cleared out their house a lot. We don't need to do that. They cleared 90% of their daughter toys. They thought she was extremely overwhelmed. She wasn't having much space to be herself. to see what's going to happen. And she changed it completely. She started being more creative, dancing, making up stories, bringing up things from outside, creating things. She changed it completely. And they became really popular because of the experiment with their own daughter. They were able to prove what science already say. They feel overwhelmed with too much. And if their spaces are not done correct for them, they will behave bad. They will feel overwhelmed, agitated, they'll start crying more often. So a cluttered, noisy, overstimulated room asks more from their nervous system, from their little brain than they are able to give. They can't give something they don't have. So when we see behavior as a communication, everything softens. Everything becomes so much easier. All right. We talked about the science, we talked about some examples from my personal life. And I want you to leave today with a very practical tip, okay? Something very simple. I want to leave you with something incredible simple, something free, and something that brings immediate results. Remove 3 things from your children's room. Just 3. Might be toys, some toys. Might be a chair that you never used. It might be some books. It might be some random things around their room. Whatever feel like extra. I'm not telling you to take important things from your children, things that they love and you use all the time and you bring you so much joy. No, it's not what I'm saying. Just take things that's not being used, that's there. Sometimes you just say, someone gave me this. I don't know what to do with that. Just take it out. Put in a box for now. Put somewhere else until you feel the need that you don't need it anymore. And then you see what you do with it. I'm telling you, less visual noise gives the brain more space to calm, to relax, more space to breathe, more space to regulate. Tiny shifts can create profound changes. Having space on the floor as well, like more space, will let them run, be creative, be a child. Today I did this quick episode just to bring you this example and tip. In this episode resonated with you, my book is available, A Definitive Guide to Creating Healing Spaces for Children. On my book, I have a step-by-step guide. This was just the beginning of the conversation. I teach you everything. I teach you how to pick up colors, how to choose furniture, how to create a little relaxing nooks, how to make your children part of the process. So much. It's an amazing material. I'll leave the link on the show notes for you. I'm so grateful for your time and being here with me. Thank you so much. And if you like the episode and our conversation today, send to someone else, send to your friend, your sister, anyone with kids. You are not just decorating, you are building an environment that shapes how your children feel, learn, and grow. Remember that, okay? Remember that the space they live, they study is affecting them. No matter how, it is affecting them. So we want this space to be affecting them positively, not in a negative way. Thank you so much. Bye bye.